Linguistic analysis is to understand the content of the text. Statistical methods are used to find the most probable meaning of the text. Grapheme, a letter or a sequence of letters that represent a sound. Phonetics analysis, it converts graphemes into phonemes. Letter to phoneme or text to phoneme. It is the generation of sequence of phonetic units for a given standard word. Interdisciplinary linguistics. It examines the complexities of language used in daily communication within various social and cultural contexts. You'll gain an in-depth understanding of how language encodes meaning and gain skills to write, read, and speak with greater confidence, fluency, and power. Semantics. It is the literal meaning of sentences, phrases, words, and morphemes. Lexical semantics, or known as lexicosemantics. It deals with the word meaning. Lexical relations describe relationship among word meanings. It study how lexicon is managed and how lexical meanings of lexical items related each other. The connection established between one word and another. Example, we all know that the opposite of the word close is open, and that literature is similar to a book. These words have a significant relationship to one another, whereas words like chair and coffee might have no meaningful relationship. Thus, certain lexical relationships can inform us about the meaning of a word. Common types of lexical relationships is the are synonymy, antonymy, hyponymy, polysemy. Pragmatics. It looks beyond the literal meaning of an utterance and considers how meaning is constructed as well as focusing on implied meanings. It is the study of practical aspects of human action and thought. It is also the study of the use of linguistic science, words, sentences, and actual situations. It negotiates meaning between speaker and listener. What would happen to a language if pragmatics did not exist? Pragmatics acts as the basis for all language interactions and contact. It is a key feature to the understanding of language and the responses that follow this. Therefore, without the function of pragmatics, there would be very little understanding of intention and meaning. Example, can you pass the salt? Literal meaning, are you physically able to do this task? Literal response, yes. Pragmatic meaning, will you pass me the salt? Pragmatic response, pass the salt to the speaker. Phonetics, individual sound. It is the study of the sounds of language. It deals with the way sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived by human beings. It is divided into three types according to the production, or articulatory transmission or acoustic, and the perception auditive of sounds. Three categories of sounds must be recognized as the outset phones or the human sounds, the phonemes or the units which distinguish meaning in a language, and allophones, which is the non-distinctive units. Example, the lips, tongue, and teeth is to produce a particular sound. Phonology. Phonology is the study of patterns of sounds in a language and across language. Phonological environment, description of the other sounds that surrounds a particular sound. The other surrounding sounds are described in the same ways we have already learned in discussing phonetics, the voicing, phrase, and manner of articulation. In phonetics and linguistics, the phonetic environment refers to the surrounding sounds of a target speech sound or target phone in a word. The phonetic environment of a phone can sometimes determine the allophonic or phonemic qualities of a sound in a given language. Sound system. It is the inventory of sounds plus rules plus the constraints. Applied linguistics. The area is the major branches of applied linguistics includes bilingualism and multilingualism, conversation analysis, contrastive linguistics, language assessment, literacies, discourse analysis, language pedagogy, second language acquisition, language planning and policy, interlinguistic, stylistics, language teacher education, forensic linguistics, and translation. The history of applied linguistics. Applied linguistics established itself in parts of our response to the narrowing of focus in linguistics with an advent in the late 1950s of generative linguistics and has always maintained a socially accountable role. It demonstrated by its central interest in language problems. First concerned itself with principles and practices on the basis of linguistics. The objective is applied linguistics focuses on the numerous and complex areas in society in which language plays a role. The goal is to apply the findings and the techniques from research in linguistics and related disciplines to solve a practical problems. Syntax refers to a word order and depends on lexical categories or parts of speech. You probably learned that there are 8 parts of speech in grammar school. Linguistics takes a different approach to those categories and separates words into morphological and syntactic groups. Linguistics analyzes words according to their affixes and the words that follow or precede them. In syntax and grammar, phrase often analyzed as units of syntactic structure. Phrase is a group of words or singular word acting as grammatical unit. Example, the very happy squirrel, noun phrase, which contains adjective phrase which is very happy. Syntax forms phrases and clauses. Example, she laughs at shy people. She laughs is the clause, at shy people is the phrase that complements the clause and completes the sentence. Clause is a group of words that has subject and verb. Phrase is a group of words that may have a partial subject or verb but not both. Types of phrase in syntax: noun phrase, verb phrase, prepositional phrase, verbal phrase, participial phrase, gerund phrase, and infinitive phrase and accusative phrase. In noun phrase, any noun or pronoun along with its modifiers. Example, they called children yesterday newspaper. They called children yesterday's newspaper. Verb phrase, any number of verbs working together. Example, had been sleeping or well contact. Prepositional phrase starts with preposition and ends with noun or pronoun. Participial phrase start with either present or past participle. Example, longing by or lounging by. Gerund phrase, example, practicing help a lot. I love reading. Infinitive phrase, infinitive and its modifiers. Example, to sing, to wall, all that way. And accusative phrase is renames an earlier noun or pronoun. Example, Julie loves scuba diving.